Hello everyone, Colin Larkin here again from Christ the King in Topeka. Today is the feast of St. Thomas the Apostle, and this is a reflection on the Gospel from today, which comes from the 20th chapter of John. Thomas, called Didymus, one of the 12, was not with them when Jesus came. So the other disciples said to him, "We have seen the Lord." But Thomas said to them, "Unless I see the mark of the nails in his hands, and put my finger into the nail marks, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." Now a week later, his disciples were again inside, and Thomas was with them. Jesus came, although the doors were locked, and stood in their midst and said, "Peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and see my hands, and bring your hand and put it into my side, and do not be unbelieving, but believe." Thomas answered and said to him, "My Lord and my God." Jesus said to him, "Have you come to believe because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen and have believed." So, as many of you know, Thomas gets quite a bad rap. Just from this one scene, he is forever dubbed the Doubting Thomas, and that's even a phrase that's made its way, colloquially into secular society. Oh, don't be such a doubting Thomas. But today, I am actually going to try to praise Thomas and to make him, look like a better character than most people give him credit for. And I want to do that because of another scene in the Gospel of John. It's when Jesus tells his disciples he's up north and he has to go back down to Judah. And the disciples say, "You can't go back down there. There are people who are trying to kill you. The Pharisees, they're going to kill you if you go back down to Judah." But Thomas says, "No, let us go that we may also die with him." Thomas was a man who loved the Lord. He was a man who was ready and willing to sacrifice his life to go and die with Jesus. This is the height of the Christian life. This is what ultimately we all should strive to do, is to go and lay down our lives in union with the Lord. But then we have this other scene where he is seen as, as faithless. He is seen as doubting, as unbelieving. And so would like you guys to kind of walk through Thomas's perspective of everything that he had gone through. So again, a man who was very passionate, he loved the Lord, and Jesus died. You could just imagine the disappointment, the despair, the sadness, the maybe even the disillusionment of, I can't believe it's over. I can't believe he was killed. The disappointment, the letdown of all of this excitement that he had, all of this passion now seems to have been for nothing. And then imagine your friends coming to you and saying, no, it's okay. He's alive. I think we can understand how maybe your reaction might be, don't toy with me. I'm not going to let myself be built up again just to let myself fall. Because what if you're not right? What if he isn't risen? I think we can all understand Thomas's point of view. In moments of disappointment and sorrow, we can often fall into the trap of not really wanting to believe in anything anymore. Because if I believe again, I can always be hurt again. And so he is in the room. Jesus comes through the locked door and he shows him his wounds. And that's so key. The risen Lord with his resurrected, glorified body still bears wounds, although now they are glorified. And so oftentimes when we're suffering, we ask for the Lord to take away our cross. We ask for the Lord to heal our wounds, whether it be from past sufferings or ones that we're going through. But the reality is that if we are to follow Christ, our wounds will not be healed, but they will ultimately be glorified. We need to show the Lord our wounds, which was precisely what Thomas did. Thomas had been wounded in one way by the Lord. He had put all of his trust in him and seemingly had been let down, and this had deeply wounded him. And so in order to call him back to the faith, Jesus appeared, came to Thomas, showed him his own wounds, and you can just hear him saying, "Look, Thomas, look here. Yes, you have been wounded, so have I. But these wounds are not the end of the story. These wounds are going to be glorified. These wounds have been risen up. These wounds now give glory to the Father." And so, brothers and sisters, again, I feel like I've given everyone a series of lifelong projects, and we'll just add this one to that list. To really fight against disillusionment when things might not go the way that you expected them, pray that you may not be able to just kind of say, well, I'm not going to be interested in this anymore. I'm not really going to invest in this. Because the Lord will take our wounds, will take our disappointments. He will raise them up that they may be glorified. St. Thomas, pray for us.